Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're connecting from. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Drop a comment if you can hear me. Drop a comment. If you can hear me loud and clear, please drop a comment. Also confirm you can see my screen. Also confirm you can see my screen. Good morning, Ebuka. Can you hear me loud and clear? Please confirm. If you have any question, if there's any instrument you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. If there's any instrument you want me to analyze, drop it in the comment section. Scan that. I think there's a major news for the dollar today. No major news for dollar today. There's no major. By 7 a.m., Great Britain will be releasing its retail sales data. Okay, it has been released. Okay, 7 a.m. is 2.7%. That's negative for GBP. That's negative for GBP. So that's the only major news we have for today. GBP and also JPY. Bank of Japan governor speaks at 7:40 a.m. Okay, so the major news today has been released. Okay, no major news for the dollar today. Okay, so let's go to the charts. Good morning, Mr. Joseph. If there's any instrument you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. So let's start with dollar index. My bias for is here, and this is the reason for that bias. Okay, so let's start with the daily time frame. Closed yesterday candle closed bearish. Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Just be patient. I guess it's network. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I guess it's network. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Yes, it's network. Can you guys hear me now? All right, okay. All right. So, like I said, my bias for the dollar is bearish, but I would love to see price pull back to this fair value gap, or price should at least retest this broken support, turn resistance. Okay, I'd like to see price pull back. Now, what we have here is a mitigation block Okay, price was mitigated at this point, so I would love to see price, pull back to this. You can see price was mitigated at this point, so I'd like to see price pull back. This is our mitigation block. Okay, so I'd like to see price pull back at least to this level before going bearish on the dollar. Okay, so my bias for the dollar is bearish. And if 4-hour candle closes above this fair value gap, if 4-hour candle closes above this fair value gap, you should expect more buys on dollar index. But if there's a strong rejection after price fills this gap, if there's a strong reversal after price fills this gap, then we should look for sales. Okay, so that's my take on the dollar for today's market. Mr. Raphael, good morning. If there's anything you want me to analyze, please drop it in the comment section. Okay, so that's my take for dollar. I hope that is clear. If you have a contrary view, I would like to know in the comment section. If you have a contrary view, I'd like to know in the comment section. So that's my take for the dollar, and I would expect dollar to come clear the liquidity residing at this low. Okay, that's my expectation for the dollar. That's my expectation for the dollar. But if dollar closes above this resistance level, you can see this resistance level on the daily time frame. Dollar closes above this level, you should expect more buys. Okay, you should expect more buys, but at the moment, I'm bearish on the dollar. Okay, let's look at yen basket. So let's start with the daily. So yesterday candle closed strongly bearish. You can see this support is still very valid. This support here is still very valid. Okay, so after the close of yesterday candle, let's see the pattern we had on 4-hour time frame. Let's see. Okay, so I would expect, you can see, if you apply your Fibonacci, this is 4-hour. If you apply your Fibonacci from this swing low to this swing high, you can see that price is currently at, a discount area, right? Price is currently at a discount area. You can see it's at a discount area, and you can see the pattern that formed after price. You can see the pattern that formed after price tested or got to the discount area. This is a spiraling bottom. This is a spiraling bottom. So based on what we have here on the 4-hour time frame, I'd like to see yen basket pull back to this fair value gap expected. Okay, so my bias for yen is bullish. It is bullish based on what we have here. If the support gets broken, then we should be looking for sales on yen basket. But at the moment, what we have here is a buy setup. Okay, I would expect yen to come fill this fair value gap. Okay, that's my expectation for yen today. So you can see the pattern we have on 4-hour. Sorry, this is 1-hour time frame. You can see this is an engulfing pattern. This is an engulfing pattern on 1 hour, and I'm sure after this engulfing pattern formed on 1 hour, the fair value gap was created, and I think that's the reason for the retracement we're seeing in the markets at the moment. Let's see. I'm sure a fair value gap was created. You can see this fair value gap. You can see this fair value gap that was created on 15 minutes. So it's likely price will pull back to fill this fair value gap before going bullish. That would be a good area or zone to consider buying yen. Okay, wait for price to fill this fair value gap before you go bullish. That's my take on yen. So it means that on yen pairs, we'll be looking for sales on yen pairs. GBP JPY, CAD JPY, CHF JPY. Okay, should be looking for sales. So patiently wait for price to fill this fair value gap before you buy yen. That's my take on yen. 1 to 5 minutes, I think. Shifting market. on 5 minutes time frame. Let's just confirm that. I think a shift to market structure has occurred on a lower time frame. Please give the video a thumbs up if you haven't done that. Give it a thumbs up. And if it's your first time participating in the live stream, please do subscribe to the channel so that anytime I come on live or I drop a content, you get notified by YouTube. Okay, so that's my time again. Yen, I am bullish. Dollar, I am bearish. Okay, for dollar, I am bearish. For yen, I am bullish. Is that clear? Is that clear? Do you have any question? If you have contrary view, I'd like to know in the comment section. Might be saying something I'm not seeing on the chat, so let me know. Let me know if you have a contrary view. Okay, so let's move to the next pair. Which pair do you want me to analyze? Let me know in the comment section. Good morning, Mr. Atonda. Good morning. If there's any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so let's go to the charts. Let's start with GBP USD. GBP USD. So GBP USD, let's start with the daily. Should have exceeded this trade. Okay. So like I said, my bias for GBP USD is buy today, please. It's buy. Should have exceeded this trade. Few minutes. Okay. Few minutes. So I said my bias for GBP USD is closing this trade. Okay. So let's use buy. You can see how yesterday candle closed. That is the reason for my buy bias. You can see well, this was on Wednesday, right? Yeah, this was Wednesday candle. Wednesday candle closed as a doji, right? A doji, and yesterday candle closed strongly bullish, and I think what they did was to clear the liquidity residing at this low. You can see what they did was to clear the liquidity residing at this low. That they have achieved, and you can see what we have here is a bullish pattern. So you can only consider selling if this resistance, or sorry, this support is broken. But at the moment, GBP USD is bullish, but I don't think it's the right time or good price. Buying at the current market price is not a good deal. As far as I'm concerned, it's not a good deal. I would like to see price retrace back into a fair value gap. Okay, so this is on a 4-hour time frame. As you can see, fair value gap has been, shift in market structure has occurred on 4-hour time frame. And after shift in market structure, we need to see price retrace into a discount area. So in this case, I will apply the Fibonacci from this swing high, this level, to this level. I'm using this swing high to this swing low. So I'd love to see price pull back to a discount area. At the discount area, I would like to identify a fair value gap at a discount area. Let's see 1 hour. So on 1 hour below level 50, do we have a fair value gap? So we have this fair value gap. You can see this fair value gap. This one is at a premium area. So I would like to see price pull back to come clear the liquidity residing at the low of this candle. So this is where I'll be considering buying GBP USD. This is where I'll be considering buying GBP USD. So my bias for GBP USD is buy, but price needs to retrace. I want to see price retrace back into a discount area before buying GBP USD. Okay, my bias is bullish for GBP USD. Okay, I want to see price at least pull back to this fair value gap. Okay, at least price should pull back to this zone. I hope that is Let me show you something. So you apply Fibonacci from this swing guide to this swing, you want to see to a premium area. You can see this relative equal highs. There's a high probability GBP USD will come for those highs. Okay. There's a high probability GBP USD will go for those previous highs. That's an area of liquidity. Okay. So and I think we still have a fair value gap here. So you can see this fair value gap here. This would be a good area to consider selling if you want to sell. Okay, this zone, you can see this fair value gap. And also this relatively poor highs here is an area of liquidity that needs to be cleared. So that's my expectation on GBP USD. I just hope GBP USD will pull back to this zone so that one can take it back. Okay, I hope it will pull back. I hope so. I hope so. So let's see Euro USD. So let's start with the daily time frame. You can see the pattern we have on GBP Euro USD is similar to what we saw on GBP USD. So you can see what we have here. We have this fair value gap here, and we had this resistance level, which became a support. Price broke out from that resistance, it became a support. And after breakout from the resistance level, price is expected to pull back to retest that resistance, which has become a support level. And you can see that's what has played out on Euro USD. Price pulled back, filled the fair value gap, and also tested that support level. And you can see the pattern that formed after price gap. This is a bullish reversal pattern. This is a bullish reversal. If you're buying Euro USD, this will be my target for Euro USD. Okay, this will be my target for Euro USD. Let's go down to 4 hour. If we go down to 4 hour, let's see what we have on 4 hour. Okay, so you can see what we have here on 4 hour. We had an engulfing pattern here, we had an AMA here, we had a doji, we had a bearish AMA here. These are indications that the buyers are showing up strong in the market. Momentum is increasing. The buy momentum is increasing. I'd like to see Euro USD pull back. I think a fair value gap has been created on a lower time frame, so you can see this fair value gap on 1 hour time frame. So I'd love to see price pull back to this fair value gap. Okay, I'd love to see price pull back to this fair value gap before going bullish on Euro USD. That's my take on Euro USD. Sorry. I guess you have a trade on one of the pairs, Elijah. You have a trade. That's the reason you don't want it to pull back. Right, Elijah, you have a trade on either GBP USD or Euro USD. That's the reason you don't want the price to pull back. For those of us that have not entered the trade, we are praying that price will pull back so can also take advantage of this opportunity. Okay, so that's my take on Euro USD. So let's look at other instrument. Let's look at gold. You can see this is gold. My bias on gold is buy. My bias on gold is buy. Why am I considering buying gold? Okay, why am I considering buying gold now? This is 4 hour. Let's start with the daily time frame. So you can see yesterday candle closed as a spinning bottom, which indicates change in trend from bearish to bullish. It closed as a spinning bottom, and we had a fair value gap here also. That fair value gap got filled yesterday, and I think after the formation of this spinning top, they know a lot of retail traders would have jumped into buy. The impatient traders would have jumped into buy, and their stop losses will be residing at the low of yesterday candle. So I think this morning First thing they did was to clear the liquidity residing at that low that they have achieved. So let's go down to 4 hour. 4 hour. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, my people. Can you hear me? Is it bad now? Sorry. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Network is okay. Okay, I want to believe you guys can hear me now. Okay, so that's my take on gold. I'm waiting for gold to clear the liquidity residing at this previous low. If the current 4-hour candle closes bullish, I think fair value gap has been created on a lower time frame. Let's see. Let's see. So we have this fair value gap here. We have this relative equal. So I'm sure gold is still going to come clear this low. Okay, gold would come clear this low before going bullish. That's my expectation on gold. So let's look at you said GU. On what time frame GU is, what do you think about the bearish inverted arm that form on 4-hour time frame? GU on 4-hour time frame, bearish inverted arm on 4-hour time frame. This is not an inverted armor now. This is an hanging man. This is not an inverted armor. This is hanging man. Okay, this is hanging man. This is an hanging man, which indicates change in trend from from buy to sell. Okay, this is an indication that the trend wants to change from buy to sell. And like I said, buying at the current market price. So if you go by a 4-hour candlestick pattern, if I want to sell, if you're going by the 4-hour candlestick pattern, okay. So my bias is based on the daily and the weekly time, not 4-hour. But if you're going by the pattern you're seeing on 4-hour time frame, you might want to sell. Okay. Like I said, I want to see price pull back to a discount area before I would buy. Okay. But if you want to take advantage of that pullback, you can go ahead and and sell. Okay. This is where I will be considering buying GBP USD. Okay. That's my take on GBP USD. If you want to sell based on 4-hour and 1-hour, on 1-hour you have engulfing pattern, on 4-hour you have hanging man. If you want to sell, you can go ahead and sell. Okay, you can also see that on 1-hour here we had a fair value gap here, and that fair value gap has been filled. So you might want to risk, you can see that fair value gap has been filled. So you could risk, and if you want to, you can. Okay. I'm not interested in selling GBP USD. Okay, I'm not interested. But if you want to sell, you can go ahead and sell. Set your stop loss. You can use maybe this high as your stop loss. So if I'm selling from this point and I'm aiming for this, the risk reward is not bad. And set your stop loss here. Let's say you use 30 pips stop loss, you aim for 50 pips. It's still a good risk reward. It's still a good risk reward. Okay. So you can go ahead and take that trade. Give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't done that, give it a thumbs up. Is there any other instrument you want me to analyze? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, GJ, let's see GJ. So like I said, my bias for yen is bullish, and I think it is time to strike on GJ. I think 0.1. Let me see if I take this trade from this point to this point is about 40 pips. Let me go in with some lot size here. GJ sell. Okay, let me take sell on GJ. Let's start with the daily. So yesterday candle closed strongly bearish on GJ. right? So strongly bearish on GJ. I think this chart is not updated yet. Is it updated? This is not updated. This is 18th. Today is 20. So let's wait for the chart to update. Let's wait for the chart to update. Okay, so the chart is updated now. So let's daily. Okay, so you can see what we have on a daily time frame. I think after the formation of this bearish candlestick here, I think we had a fair value gap on 4-hour or 1-hour time frame. Okay, so we had, let's go to 1 hour. So there's a fair value gap here that price had to go fill. Let's see. So you can see on 1 hour we had this fair value gap. So I think they've swept the liquidity residing at this previous high. I think, yeah, clear the liquidity reside and there is a fair value gap. Let's see 15 minutes. Let's see 15 minutes. So there's a fair value gap price to fill. Okay. So I think price had come to, we had this fair value gap here at this point on 15 minutes. That gap has been filled at this point. You can see the gap got filled at this point and it created these highs, which are an area of liquidity. And I think that is for the breakout. Okay. So price has filled that fair value gap. If you go back to 4-hour, apply your Fibonacci. Okay, so if you apply your Fibonacci, from this swing high to this swing low, and you can see price is at extreme, right? Extreme premium, and you can see the candlestick that formed yesterday. No, the previous candle looks like an hangman, or you call this a spinning top. That is a sell. That is a sell, and it's likely going to come fill this fair value gap. That's what I see playing out on GJ. If you are willing to take the risk, you can join me in selling GJ 40 pip risk. Okay, if you are willing to take the risk, you can join me in selling GJ. You can go ahead and take the trade on GJ. I'm selling GJ. I'm taking a risk of 40 pips. 40 pip risk. My stop loss is at 195. Actually 196.40. That is 40 plus 94. That is 34. My stop loss is at 196.34. Okay. Please ensure you apply proper risk management. Am I correct? It's supposed to be 196 points, right? 196.34. Stop loss 196.34. That's my stop loss. Okay, 196.34. Okay, so that's my take on GJ. If GJ breaks out from this resistance, then that will be a buy. So you can see that's the reason my stop is at this level. So I'm selling GJ at the moment. Okay. Yes, that's it. Okay, so that's my take on GJ. Sell GJ. GJ is likely going to come and fill this fair value gap it's created. It's likely going to come fill this fair value gap. People should bet go to pull back. I want to buy gold, you should pull back. Gold should please pull back so that one can buy. Gold should pull back so that one can buy. People should buy gold. Okay, so US 30, 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 US 30. Let's start with the daily. Let me start with the weekly. US 30. What I see here is sell. What I see here is sell. First, if we apply Fibonacci from this swing high to this swing low, price is at premium. You can see that price is at premium, and also at the premium, you can see we are on the weekly time frame, and you can see we have this fair value gap. Can you see this fair value gap here? Price has filled this fair value gap, and last week candle was bearish. Can you see that? And after the formation of that last week candle, I'm sure a fair value gap was created after the formation of last week candle, and I think price has pulled back to fill that fair value gap. Let's see daily. So you can see, okay, this is daily. Let's go down to is this updated? Okay, let me go back to the weekly, a few minutes. Okay, so after last week, let's see what we had on a daily. And let's go down to 4 hour. So you can see on 4 hour, a fair value gap was created. Can you see this fair value gap that it's created? Can you see this fair value gap it's created? Okay. You can see this fair value gap it's created. Gap, though they didn't fill it entirely, and that could be because of this mitigation block. Okay, that could be the reason why price didn't fill the gap, because we had a mitigation block. So this is a sell. This is a sell. What I see here is a sell. Okay, it's a sell. It's a sell. Or you could wait for a little retracement. Okay, I'm sure if there's a fair value gap here that needs to be filled, you might want to wait for a little retracement before you sell. What I see here is sell. As you can see on the chart, it's been selling since last week. Yeah, it's been selling since last week. So you might want to wait for a little retracement before you sell. So US 30 is sell. US 30 is sell. US 30 is sell. I see sell on US 30. Do you have any other question? Please give the video a thumbs up if you haven't, and if it's your first time joining the live stream, do subscribe so that anytime I come on live or I drop content, you'll be notified by YouTube. Any question? Is there any other instrument you want me to analyze? Let's see. Yes, the card is bearish. Let's start with the daily time frame. Let's start with the daily time frame. You can see yesterday candle closed as a shooting star, right? After sweeping liquidity residing at this previous high. Okay. I'd love to see USD card fill this fair value gap, but it didn't fill it. It didn't fill that fair value gap. Okay, it didn't fill that fair value gap, and that could be because we had this support on resistance here. Okay, we had this resistance on support, so that could be the reason price didn't, fill that fair value gap. And you can see the pattern we have here. This is after the formation of yesterday candle. Let's see what we had on 4 hour. So you can see what we had on 4 hour. This is an engulfing pattern on 4 hour after the close of yesterday candle. This is an engulfing pattern. And if you go down to 1 hour, the fair value gap was created here. So I would love to see price pull that fair value gap before selling. Okay, so we have this fair value gap on 1 hour. we love to see price fill before we go bearish. Before we go bearish now, before we go bearish on the dollar, I'd love to see price pull back. This is where I'm considering selling. You can see on 1 hour time frame, shifting market structure has occurred on 1 hour time frame at this point. Shifting market structure has occurred. So we want to see price pull back to this level before we sell. And if you go up to 4 hour time frame, you can see this at a discount area. Pull back. That's my expectation. Okay, so that's my take on. So if price pulls back into this zone and we see opportunity to sell, set our stop loss just few pips above this level. Let's say from this point, we just set our stop loss few pips above this level. Let's say we expect